I just finished oh my god, I can't even describe it. The most wonderful book I've probably read in a long time this year. Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. Now, Beauty and Skin Deep, aka Laura, had reviewed this and fallen in love with it too. So I seen it at my library and I checked it out because I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it. At first I was kind of like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, was I wrong? This book is really, really, wow. I think it's the way it is written. But it was really good. I could not put this down when I was reading it. I just wanted to keep reading it and finding out what happens. This is about two high school seniors who are from completely different worlds. Brittany is the cheerleader who has to put on like the front to be this perfect person. And then there's Alex, who is in the Latino Bloods gang. So they're from completely different worlds, and they become partners in chemistry. Their teacher assigns them as partners in chemistry. And they're kind of, at first they were like, but then it turns into something more. As what that's what like Brittany thinks anyway. But I guess Alex took a bet with his friends to see if he could sleep with Brittany before Thanksgiving. And so that's what he kind of uses as, oh, this isn't anything. This is just for the bet, for me to win the car. Or like he bet his friend his car. So that's what he kind of thinks. But really, you can tell that he really likes Brittany. So that's kind of that, where they have to kind of break through their stereotypes and what other people are thinking of them going out, like them ever being together. I know it might sound kind of cheesy, but no, once you start reading like the first chapter, you won't be able to put it down. I am like, oh my gosh. And the ending, I'm not going to tell you the ending because I don't want to give it away, but the ending, the way it was written, because it does an epilogue where it's 23 years later. That was absolutely, I'm like, that was a perfect ending. So thank you so much, Laura, for talking about this book and to get it in. Because when I hear people talk about books like on YouTube, I'll either write them down and take them with me to the library, or I just remember the titles, and then if I see them, then I check them out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yes. And another cool thing is, this author is from Illinois, and that's where I live, and it's near, they talk about, like, Chicago in here, and I'm near Chicago, and I thought that was really cool. But another thing that I think is a good way to develop the characters is that they're in, like, it alternates. The chapters alternate between points of view, which I think helps develop the characters so much better, and you can get to know who they are and in their lives and everything. So I recommend this book to anyone. I give this a 5 out of 5. This is probably the best book I've read all year. At first, I was like, oh my god, but I started reading it and I could not put it down. Literally, I could not put it down. It is really, really good. It just made me just keep, you feel like you're right there watching all this stuff going on, and wow, it's really good. And now I understand why she had to buy herself a copy, because it is just really good. So definitely keep an eye out for this one. It is really good. And this was book number 7 that I've read this year. And I didn't want it to end. I did want it to end because I wanted to know what happens. But then when it was over, I was like, oh. But it really ended really good. So I think I might check out some more books by this author because I like the way this author writes. So yeah, and the book I'm reading now, Alex reads books 2010. Alex had checked this out at his library, but he had returned it. But he had told a little bit what it was about. It's Acceleration by Grant McNamee. So I seen this at the library. Again, when I hear titles that sound interesting, I go and find them. I know I still have yet. Sorry, this is skipping around. I still have yet to find Unwind. I'm so mad. But anyway, he had talked about this in a library hall, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds so interesting. It's about a boy, Duncan, who works in the lost and found in a subway. So he's like below the subway. So he's really far underground, and his job is to, if someone comes down looking for something that's lost, he goes through all the junk and tries to find what they're looking for. So that's what it sounds like, such a cool job. You probably find so many interesting things, and as it turns out, he finds this book. It's like a leather book that like doesn't have a title or anything, and it's actually a journal or a diary, and he realizes it's from a serial killer. So, and I love the back how it says, what would you do with a book like that? How far would you go to catch a madman, and what if time was running out? I'm not that far into it, but so far it's pretty good. It's really interesting, and I probably will finish it today, I hope. The print's not that big. But it just sounded really interesting. Okay, you just find this serial killer's, like, doodlings, and the first page when he first looked at it, it was like a graph of, like, times and then different liquids, like Windex, that kind of thing. And then on the bottom it said, like, below it, a litter of mice or something, and then he realized, oh my god, this is how long it takes mice to drown in different liquids. So it's kind of disturbing, but it's very interesting. So look for a review for this. So yes, and definitely find this book and read it and fall in love with it. So this is all for now. Yes. Oh, I did buy yesterday. That just fell. I did buy the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. Okay, let me talk about this for a second. I've seen this in the store many times, and I've heard people talk about it many, many times. But I was just like, you know, and then I didn't really know what it was about. I'm like, alright, if I look, like, the cover, I wouldn't just pick it up by myself. But I'm like, I've heard some good things with that on some of the people I'm subscribed to, and I'm like, why not, right? It's only the first one. It was $8.99. If I don't like it, I don't have to buy the other two. So yeah, I don't know when I'm reading this again. I don't know. There's just so many books out there that I want to read, and not enough time to read them in. So yeah, again, I'm going to promote this again. Find this book and read it, and if you have read it, let me know what you thought of it, please. And check out this book. There'll be a review up probably soon. So, thanks for watching. Bye!